Hi, I'm John Sterrett. This is my fretless bass that I made from an acoustic guitar. In this video, I'm going to show how I fixed this pickup that I bought online to my guitar. I'm under COVID-19 lockdown and I'm working with whatever tools that are available at home. I've borrowed a few things from the kitchen as well. Let's go through the circuit. Pickup system has a head, a battery unit with the sockets, and the undersaddle pickup. It came with the necessary screws, but not the cutting template. Piezo undersaddle pickup plugs in under the head. The cable from the head plugs into the PCB in the battery unit. Next, I'm going to make the template. If your pickup came with the cutting template, you can skip the next 3 minutes of this video. Grab a thick sheet of paper to make the template out of. There's only a very mild curve on the battery unit. So I go ahead, place it on the paper, trace the outline and cut it out. If I make a rectangular cut, the screws may be too close to the edge and there may not be enough wood to hold it. So I make note of the tapered corners. Now, I measure the distance of the inner edge from the outer edge of the flange, including the corners. Mark them on the template and cut. Now the screws will be sufficiently far from the edge and will be able to hold the battery unit in place when the cables are being pulled out of the sockets. The head has a flat bottom but a curved flange that will match the curvature of the guitar. As the arc length will be more, I'll be left with a smaller hole if I cut it based on the dimensions of the flat bottom. However, I go ahead and take a profile of the flat bottom. The arc length is approximately 4 millimeters longer. So I place a ruler along the inner edge and make markings on the edge of the flange. So the inner edges are marked on the flange. Now that the templates are ready, we move on to the guitar. I choose the edge of the front face of the guitar as my reference. Now I take the curved edge of the battery unit and run it along the edge of the body to find a spot where the curvatures match. I mark the two ends. A quick look inside the guitar to make sure there are no reinforcements under the points I have marked. Cutting reinforcements and braces would completely ruin the guitar. I cannot go fetch my tri-square during the lockdown, so I use a sheet of paper as reference for perpendicularity. I place one edge of the paper along the edge of the front face and draw two perpendicular lines from the points I have marked. I place the template between the lines and mark the outline of the template on the body. Now I run the head along the top until the curvatures match. I mark the two edges and the inner edges. I keep one edge of the paper along the edge of the guitar body. And I draw 4 perpendicular lines from those 4 points I marked. Now I keep the profile on the second line and mark the outline. Now I move the profile to the third line and mark the outline of the opposite sides. On joining the sides, I get the marking for the slot for the head. Sides of the guitar are normally thin and soft. You wouldn't need power tools to cut or to drill. Make 3 indentations with a knife well inside each edge. Use a small screwdriver to follow through. And join the holes to make a slot. The typical Indian household kitchen knife has serrations and works like a saw. But this one is worn out. If you have a power drill, you could use it to make the holes. I continue the cutting with a hacksaw blade. The teeth should point in the direction of the cut. I make sure I don't cut all the way till the corners. Once the 4 sides are cut, I use a knife to carve the tapered corners. You could use a piece of sandpaper to remove the burr. I use a file. Now I make the cut for the battery slot the same way. Perfect. Now I loosen the strings enough to release the saddle. Take the saddle out. Mark the thickness of the pickup at the bottom of the saddle. Put the emery paper on a flat, hard surface and sand it till the mark. I now keep the piezo unit on the bridge and make a mark where I want the wire to go through. I make a 3.5 millimeter hole. Pass the wire through it. Insert the piezo with the ridges on top. And install the saddle over it. I take the cable from the piezo and plug it under the head. You don't have to drill holes for the screws. Press them till they penetrate the surface and screw them up. I now plug the cable from the head to the battery unit. And fix the battery unit. The pickup system is installed. Well, it works. How does it sound? That could be the subject for my next video. Subscribe and stay tuned.